One of the cheapest and fastest ways to get around Kigali is on a motorcycle taxi. Wherever you go, it's easy to see why this country is labelled as the fastest growing economy in Africa. Minus the pandemic, the country enjoyed strong economic growth rates, creating new business prospects and lifting people out of poverty. Depending on who you talk to, you will hear a tale of two different Rwandas. The first is of a progressive East African nation with a government that has a well-oiled machinery and works for its 13 million people while clamping down on corruption. In fact, it is called one of the least corrupt countries in all of Africa. The other Rwanda you will hear of is the one that clamps down on critics and limits freedom of the press. This week, for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, President Paul Kagame wants to show the Commonwealth of Nations the Rwanda which donor countries like and have called a development miracle. The government of Rwanda has worked actively to develop the economy and reform the financial and business sectors. The country is seen as one of the friendliest to do business. Its major foreign exchange earners include mining, tourism, coffee and tea, and continued growth in these sectors will be critical for economic development and poverty reduction. Journalist Muhiraza John says the developments in Rwanda has made President Paul Kagame very popular.
You can see there's a big difference, there's a big improvement in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the of doing business, everything where it has a very big change comparing to the previous ones.
Apart from economic and social developments, Rwanda is seen as an example in peace building and reconciliation. The 1994 genocide saw the slaughter of almost 1 million of the Tutsi people and moderate Hutus in just 100 days. Here, the genocide memorial in Kigali is the resting place of some 250,000 of those who were killed, and they are graphic reminders of how they lost their lives. The international community famously failed to prevent and stop the genocide, with the United Nations refusing to get involved. On this wall are written the names of entire families who were slaughtered during the genocide in 1994. The international community sometimes criticizes the government of Paul Kagame for his human rights record. The government often responds asking, where was the international community when this happened? Why didn't they stop it? Just under 30 years after the atrocity, the people of Rwanda have made a deliberate effort to forgive and to forget what has happened.
For the first, it was hard because remember, from coming from the genocide against the Tutsi, it was not easy for the government to convince the people. It was a very big process for them to understand that we have to forget whatever happened at the first. We have to move forward. It's a time of development. It's a time of having a new life. It was not easy, but now it is in the press, and people they're already understanding it, and they're already working towards achieving what they want to achieve without thinking this one is this person, this one is another tribe. So it is something people all over the country, all over the region are wondering what happened. How did you do this? This is something kind of miracle to the people, but it is really working, and people are working very, very closely to each other without having this kind of tribes.
After the genocide, one of the initiatives introduced to spur national development and contribute to people working together is called Umuganda, in which citizens 18 to 65 are obligated to clean their communities and engage in other community work for 3 hours every last Saturday of the month. At first, it was seen as forced labor, but it has helped build schools and health centers and has made the capital Kigali the cleanest city in Africa. Though the Commonwealth is mostly made up of former British territories, it accepted Rwanda as one of its members, and the country's hosting of the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting just a few years after that decision was made shows just how seriously Rwanda wants to take a leadership role in the world. Heads of state of the 54-nation Commonwealth will begin arriving in Rwanda on Wednesday. One of the issues that threatens to overshadow and dominate the entire summit is the Rwanda-UK plan, under which the UK will send some illegal immigrants, deport them to Rwanda. In exchange, the Rwandan government will get over £100 million. The plan has been wrongly criticized. News reports say that even Prince Charles has joined in, calling the plan appalling. Prince Charles and the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson are expected to see each other here in Rwanda, and everyone is watching to see how that will play out. One of the other issues is when Prince Charles becomes king, what will he decide about the Commonwealth? For Guyana, The grouping has been very important on a number of fronts, and so that's why President Irfaan Ali is leading Guyana's delegation to this summit. He's accompanied by First Lady Arya Ali and the Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd. Reporting for the newsroom, I'm Neil Marks in Kigali.